All right, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for June 27th, 2023. We'll start with, as usual, the 30-minute charts for the hybrid swing, beginning with Alcoa, which was also the sniper trade of the day. The swing pattern fired with a PSAR flip here, so we got a regular swing entry here, and that thing just did that all day. And that's the easiest target to add intraday turbo to. When it's behaving like that, and it's one of your favorites, you really don't have to look any further. This is a 50-cent risk box-ish in Alcoa. The turbo risk box is about 16 cents. So the swing position size is about 1/3 of the size of the turbo, which makes the turbo, more pressing. And then when you get out of that, you have a really low risk entry here because you made money on the turbo trades on large position size here. And then when you exit, you are only carrying the swing position overnight and probably have 5 or 6 hour in hand to protect the swing trade. So that is a comfort. AI, yesterday we had a micro gain. Today it gave a 1-2-3 entry, and it's holding about +1. This feels like bottoming action, and I have some reasons to believe it could go to here and then here. I will, however, short it again if it drops below 31. Routine. Caterpillar initiated a Kata 2 continuation. Cliff, the SSC PSAR flip and go from yesterday continued to behave very well today. This is one of the advantages of only carrying one position. You can absorb a little bit of noise in here, and then it blasts free. And now I'm just holding 1, 2, +3, and this entry is pretty well protected. And, it made a new 5-day high today. So all it really has to do is get above, 1690, and Cliff is off to the races. CVS, I missed the gap and the 1, 2, 3. This was, that was a nice exit yesterday. Just locked in 3. And then today it gapped down to here. That's what comes from not being greedy, I guess. And there's a 1, 2, 3 entry right here. And I missed that. I had other things going on. Span of control. Dish, a 1-day SSC gift of about an R. It gave back the second R. I let it go too long. I was hoping to see this move catch and go, but instead it just drifted right down here, and I had to take the exit here for +1. But at maximum favorable excursion, it was +2, so I gave back half of the gain. Devon Energy, no trade. It's in a consolidation area. Electronic Arts for the win. Holy smokes. So this is one of the things that you get when you don't hold the overnight risk. Sometimes you just got to remember, oh yeah, it can gap to here and then just go. But I look at it and say 1, 2, 3 positions on a swing trade on about a 50-cent risk. And then right here at 131.38, where you're holding plus 350 per share on 50-cent risk, this one is a 7R. That one's about 5. This one's about 3. So you're holding about 15R right there. And what do you want to do? How much of that you want to hold overnight? I'm holding one swing position. Probably too conservative because, it's well above the resistance level, but I hope I'm always too conservative. So I sold 2/3 of the swing position there and just kept 10R in the bank, and the first position has about 5R in hand, maybe 7R in hand on the swing. This was a rocket ship for the intraday trade, but unfortunately I was trading Alcoa and missed the 3-minute move on this thing. And that's what that looks like intraday. I mean, holy smokes. I mean, and I'm monkeying around with Alcoa. And at least I did get this on the swing. But still, just ridiculous. All right, here's emerging markets. This was a micro gain intraday 1R. Ethereum initiated a COTA 2. Mexico initiated a COTA 2. Brazil. You know, I really wanted to initiate here, but this was an SSC, and I didn't really like the fact that it had collapsed here and sold off harshly to there. If I was going to get this, I should have gotten the short and then the 1, 2, 3 entry and then had money in hand. But I didn't have either one of those, so I didn't want to have like a naked overnight position, so I elected not to initiate. But that's one that got away twice. Intel just continuing the COTA 2. That's holding about 4R and closed well, and it's above the rising highs. And it comes into resistance around 35, so there's still room for this thing to go. IP, International Paper. I mean, what's not to love? It's got a wide stop, and it's holding about 2R. I like it. Real estate, about 4R with a narrower stop. I like that one. It's above the previous swing. No trade in KRE. McDonald's initiated a COTA 2. Now, this is my standard practice on something that is orderly and sells off here. And yesterday it went to here, and today it gapped up and then sold off. And then instead of failing, in the middle of the day, it makes that little COTA 2, and it's still in the summer. So I like taking this one around lunch to see what it might do. And this thing returned about 2R. And I think there's still some room to go because that's going to look favorable tomorrow to holders of McDonald's. So nobody wants to sell that. Merck, I missed the COTA 2. Microsoft initiated an SSC. Marijuana still short. Sorry, that one should be here. Forgot to update that one. Technically, I should have exited here at the PSAR flip. So that's some sloppiness on my part. NVIDIA took the yesterday's trade was a gift that I missed the COTA 2 intraday. Clean energy, no trade, missed one. Now this is one where having market conditions insight can help you make some decisions about asset allocation and other tactical decisions. So this is SPY. And you can see that it's got this 10-day low. And on the daily chart, this was the peak of the RL10. So there's like a 5-day channel in here. And this thing has slid carefully into here. And then yesterday was this, where it didn't fail further. And then today was a PSAR gap and go. So here it's in the spring, and here it's in the summer. So that is nothing but the market pulling hard to the north. And that's lifting all of the boats. So when the market is in that kind of critical state condition, and you see that kind of turn, that should give you a long side bias for all the things that you have that are correlated to the S&P. Tesla, so I'm back in Tesla for that same reason after the PSAR flip intraday, and then U.S. Steel also initiating this is like an emerging dragon re-entry. This thing I like because it is well above the previous resistance level, and that feels like it's free and clear. That's the strongest looking metals. Okay. Sniper trade of the day. This is Alcoa. And this one is on 3 minutes. And you'll notice that this box is about 16 cents. So it's 1/3 of the swing risk, which is about 50 cents. The swing is about 50 cents. So we get a gap up, a peak, and then sells off. So I'm short here. And that stops and reverses after about 20 minutes. And I take the full 1 hour loss. This one was a real jumping bean. I mean, it did this, 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 it did this. So I had to get out. And when it broke to that, I just decided, let's go. And took the 1 hour loss. And now we are long there. Check or hold. Two-hour battle drill. Standard exit on the RL10 crossing the PSAR. And so that one gains. So that one's -1. This one gains 1, 2, 3. This one gains +1. So we are total net 3 right now after overcoming the first loss. Caught a 2 re-entry. Picked up about another R, so we're +4 for the day. And there we are. So Alcoa. Now, the big deal of the day was electronic arts, and just I should have shifted. But once I get started on these for the intraday, I tend to stay with them. Let's take a quick look at the traders. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Damien, +1. PSAR flip, 0.5. Total 1.5. 20 minutes and done. Don't make it harder than it is. This is Brian. This is DIA. 3 minutes. Caught a 2. He buys it inside the, the uptick in the dragon. I think of that as like the elbow. So he gets it right in here, and then he cashes 0.5. I like that trade. Very orderly. Doesn't try to make it more than it is. Brazil. He gets one, and it comes to here, but then reverses, so he exits here in order to get 1.2. That's probably better than his average trade, so that is a terrific exit. And then when it falls over, he gets short, adds a second position, and then scratches the second position, and stops and reverses on a 1, 2, 3. And so this trade is worth 2.5, and he gets 0.2 on this one, and then he cashes this for 1.6, and we'll take that. Nothing wrong with that. Tim on CVX. Excuse me. Gets a half an hour here after the OR3. Tries the short again. It doesn't work. He waits for the PSAR flip and then crushes this one. What I'd like to see you do is probably get out here, because on that sharp of a reversal, yeah, it ended up drifting to here, so that was okay. But I think it could just as easily have gone here. And so I would prefer that you get here, and up, down. It opens and then drops lower. I like that exit right there, and just accelerate that to right there. You end up getting the same trade, but I'd rather get it 6-7 bars earlier. And then he gets paid in here, so 1.5. I'm not going to quibble with that. This is Tim on U.S. Steel. Brings in 3.4. OR3 with a micro loss, micro gain. PSAR flip, smash. You could really have considered a second position here when it makes a new high of the day, particularly if you were looking at the SPY that I showed earlier. That 30-minute chart, it was doing nothing but this. And so a steel company in the U.S. being prompted and supported by the market is pretty good. And this thing just continued to march. But still, there's nothing wrong with 3.4. Micro loss, could have re-entered, but we'll take 4.9 for a day. Nothing wrong with that. Trying to remember whose this was. No, Greg, jumping bean recalculation stop. No, I just the standard stop was good enough. It just there was no easy way to get out of there with a less than a full R. It was just going to bounce around.
That's
So
Mike M. Mike M.
What? Say again.
It's Mike M's chart.
Yeah, but Greg asked me a question in the chat about recalculating the stop in U.S. Steel. All right, so this is Mike. What I prefer is, see how much screen space you have here? For extra indicators, and there's really no difference between the Red River and the stochastics, right? Because you're getting exactly the same information about the oscillation. What the Red River does is tells you when you have extreme conditions, and the stochastic you have to wait to see above 80. But that's just a standard marker of 20 and 80, whereas the Red River takes into account the volatility of the moving averages. So I don't know that you need both of those. Study them, like this move here. This is where it gets interesting, and you got a divergence here, I suppose. So if you like the stochastics, okay, but just realize that it really gives you very limited screen territory up here, so it's hard to see distinguishing moves. This all feels like to me it's kind of really muddled. I have a hard time seeing price action inside there, but I'm not going to really quarrel with 1.79. So if that works for you, and maybe just cut the size of those in half, and you'll still get the actionable information, but you'll have more information about price. Is what I would suggest, maybe. Satya with Microsoft. OR3, Hulk smash for 0.6, short for 0.5, collapsing dragon for 1. Not trading. Oh, okay. Caught a 2. So we'll take 4.4. Excuse me. The med's kicking in. So 4.4 for Satya. Really nicely done. Very orderly move in Microsoft. This is when it breaches the VWAP and you get those COTA 2s, man, we really want to pile on there. That is really a strong signal. When the VWAP is down, levels off, and is now going up. When the VWAP goes up that much, that was being bought with a lot of volume. So I'm expecting to see a lot more follow through on Microsoft tomorrow. All right, that's everything I got for today. I'll get the reports completed and shipped out here shortly. So thanks for your patience. And Creativity 202, guys, I owe you another day. I just didn't have it in me tonight. All right, take good care, and we shall see you tomorrow.
Feel better, bro. Feel better.